Every spring, homeowners throughout Southern California open their gates to showcase gorgeous home gardens as fundraisers for nonprofit organizations. Today we're visiting one of the largest and longest running garden tours in Southern California, the Mary Lou Hurd Foundation Garden Tour. In this first video, we'll showcase 4 inland Orange County gardens featuring everything from fairy gardens to ferns to native plants. We'll follow up with a second video showcasing 3 more gardens in a few days, so make sure you're subscribed. Our first garden is in Rancho Santa Margarita, which is in South Orange County, south of Los Angeles. And this garden was begun as a labor of love almost 40 years ago. The homeowners purchased this home newly built, and the gardening has never stopped. The yard has many elements, such as these beautiful shade trees and ferns as you walk into the backyard. Also wanted to showcase some of the beautiful annuals that they have planted in the front yard. They have a nice topiary as well, and it was wonderful to see this creation. It was nice seeing these ferns on the side of the house, and they also used the rest of the side yard for some other plantings as well. This succulent garden is just one of the many collections that this home has, and as you can tell, they've been adding to their collection for a while and have some beautiful and some unique succulents. If you're a gardener, it's good to have a sense of humor, and I enjoyed looking at the names of these pots as well as the funny sign. It's not hoarding if it's plants. I completely agree. I have been collecting some California native plants for a while now, and it's fun. Look at this beautiful yard as you walk into the backyard. It's a beautiful foxglove blooming. Have nice asparagus fern, and I really like the stonework as well. This garden has 2 non-human residents, and we will spot one of them later, so keep an eye out for him or her. The Mary Lou Hurd Memorial Garden Tour benefits the Sheepfold, which is a shelter for women in crisis and their children. The net proceeds collected at the tour and through online donations go directly to the Sheepfold, which depends solely on private people such as this tour and needs our support. If you'd like to support the tour, I've included information in the link below. Please donate if you can. I love these miniature gardens. This is the Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, and we'll also see some other fun Disney faces, which makes sense because Orange County is home to Disneyland. Which of these miniature gardens is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know. They had some beautiful blooming plants. The roses are just blooming like crazy this year. It's wonderful to see, and I love seeing this log cabin that they built, and the Bambi. That's a Bambi miniature garden, super cute, surrounded by some salvia. We also have some lantana. Just gorgeous garden here. Beautiful hibiscus. There's so many elements to this yard, and all of it is maintained by the home's non-human residents. I'll give you a hint as to who they are. You'll notice the vegetable garden is separated from everything, which is nice. And you'll also notice that most of the plantings have rocks around them, and that's to protect the plantings from these residents. Have you guessed what kind of resident I'm speaking about yet? We're going to show you in just a second. This is one of two tortoises named Myrtle and Buddy, and sometimes they help by trim newly added bedding plants. As you can see, they're right in front of this gorgeous log cabin, and that was added some years ago. Their desert tortoises are so cute, and watching them leaves me a good idea of what you can do if you do have tortoises. If you want to protect your plantings, you can use gates and rocks to help protect the plants, as well as those little gardens that they used as well. Those really worked well to protect the plants from the tortoises, whom are basically roaming free lawnmowers. This garden has been showcased a number of times, but now we're going to move on to our next garden of the day, which is going to be also in Orange County in Trabuco Canyon. This garden has also been a work of art, but is new to the tour for 2026. This European country garden has continued to evolve over the last 38 years. The homeowner has taken inspiration from personal visits to famous cottage gardens, including those of Gertrude Jekyll, Christopher Lloyd, William Robinson, and Marjorie Fish. The garden combines the structure of hedges, boxwood, and Eugenia topiary, along with fruit trees, and they're all softened with roses, hydrangeas, these beautiful orchids. The garden has enough shade for these orchids and the beautiful ferns. And then as we come around, we'll also see some more boxwood. And one of my favorites was this succulent wreath. Gorgeous design. And it's nice to have a little bird bath as well. A bird bath is a lovely way to provide water to birds without the maintenance of having an actual pond. And we'll go into more details about bird baths in a future episode, but I have covered in a short little solar fountains that you can get for your bird bath if you want to add that. As you turn the corner, you walk around, you see a small organic kitchen garden. She has a variety of herbs here, and it's always good to grow some veggies in your garden that you particularly enjoy, especially if the store doesn't carry them. This is a classic garden design, but the dreamy canyon view is something that is the showstopper. This garden is truly a labor of love and perfect for outdoor California living. Although people might think that it's easy to grow in Southern California, it's actually pretty rare to see a successful apple tree like this one, because most Southern California gardens are not cold enough to allow for the growth of many apples. If you do want to grow apples in Southern California, there are two different varieties that work well. In Southern California, they have very low chill hours. One is the Anna apple and the other one is the Golden Dorset apple. Those are both really good if you are looking for apples in Southern California. The homeowner also grows citrus in addition to apples, which honestly, they're a little bit hard to grow in the same climate. So kudos to this homeowner. I love that there are so many different layers in all of these different gardens that we tour during the Mary Lou Hurd garden tour. most of these homeowners have been working on their yards for decades. And in that time, they've learned what works, what doesn't work. And when you have roses, you want to have something to kind of cover up their knees. I think that's what it's called. But they can look a little bit scraggly at the bottom, and it's not the most attractive look. So having something that's a little bit low growing, maybe almost like a ground cover, works really well. And you don't want to have something that's going to be competing with the roses for space, though, because you want to make sure you have plenty of airflow for your roses. I counted at least 3 bird baths in this beautiful garden, which are much easier to maintain than ponds. In case you have ever tried or thought that you would like to have a pond, almost all of the major YouTubers that are gardeners that have had ponds installed, they've all had issues with algae. I've seen Descanso Gardens have issues with algae, one of the largest gardens in Southern California. It's not easy to maintain ponds in a climate such as California because it's just very, very warm and it encourages the growth of algae. But that's enough about algae. Let's talk about this awesome potting area. I really had some envy when I was looking at her potting area, and I love that she had different examples of the plants that she has on the property. So if you're curious about any of the flowers that we saw, you can see some names there. And what a cute little potting area. Most of the homeowners that have gardens on these tours do have a potting area. Really helps when you're making your garden look as gorgeous as this one. One thing I noticed about the Mary Lou Hurd garden tour that I didn't necessarily notice on other garden tours was that many of these homeowners actually provided different seeds, cuttings, and plants for free. So that was really fun to see. This next garden was just a few miles away in the city of Tustin, California, but it was miles away in terms of the design. This garden obviously features drought-tolerant plantings and has a desert theme in the front. California has experienced periods of severe drought conditions, and that caused these homeowners to rethink their front yard. The homeowners replaced most of their landscape plants with arid-adapted plants over the course of several years, so it's a desert theme. And I love seeing those cute little cactus blooms. The garden features a variety of succulents arranged over many landscaped beds. It's fun exploring the different paths just in the front yard alone. And I love seeing that cute little succulent fountain. That's something that you can do if your fountain pump stops working and you're not able to replace it, or it gets cracked, damaged in some way. Why not make it into a succulent fountain? And those do sometimes require drainage holes to be drilled, but other than that, it seems like a fairly low maintenance way to reuse an old fountain for something brand new. But I really like seeing all the different varieties of succulents. The way that they're arranged is really how they would be growing in the wild, where like 1 or 2, maybe like kind of we call them the mother plants, would be then reseeding themselves, or pieces would fall off and then become part of this little grouping of plants. So it's really how plants grow in the desert and also beyond the desert as well. Many of the plants are labeled, so you can zoom in and check the names if you'd like. And it really makes you feel like you're in an exhibit, like the Huntington Library or something of the sort. That's one of my favorite features of gardens, are when they actually label the plants, even if it just helps you figure out exactly what plants are there. And for me, even if you use iNaturalist and other plant ID apps, sometimes it can give you the wrong answers. Sometimes it's hard for the app to determine what you're even taking a picture of, if it's a bunch of different plants all grouped together. So knowing your plant identification and having tags is really exciting for people when they go on a tour. There's an arroyo in the front yard that not only mimics a natural desert drainage way, but is functional as well. As you walk into the backyard, the owner has planted a variety of succulents and cacti along the entrance, and it's really pleasing to see all the different contrast and colors and textures and height. Just beautiful to see as you walk into the back of the property. This garden was recently showcased on PBS and was also a winner in 2019 of the Rogers Gardens California Friendly Garden Contest. Pretty amazing. This yard is really designed for outdoor living, and all of the plantings help support that. It's really gorgeous to see all the different variety of cacti that they've collected over the years. beautiful. And it was wonderful seeing the kitchen garden as well. And this is something that I think that most people would love to have as part of the garden, somewhere to grow your own organic produce. Or actually, it doesn't have to be organic if you don't want it to be. But another beautiful succulent fountain, much larger than the one in the front yard. And there are just so many different corners to this yard, always something new to experience. If you love this look, if you love the idea of having a summer dry garden, you can achieve this look. There are other California native plants that will also tolerate drought really well and are a little bit less spiky. I love to add sage to most gardens because it's tolerant of most soil conditions. Many of them are evergreen and they have long bloom periods. So that's one of my favorite California natives to add if you're new to California native gardening. But California natives also are available. You can find Dudleya is a native California succulent, which is gorgeous. But I really love this garden, and I think that it's one of my favorites that I've seen in recent memory. If you look at this view, doesn't it seem like a resort more than somebody's home garden? For me, I think that this is the most kind of like hotel-esque kind of resort-like yard that I've seen in a long time. Absolutely gorgeous, and I think they did a really great job with this garden. Going to move on to the fourth and final garden of the tour after visiting this beautiful poolside resort. This homeowner had his dried out lawn removed and replaced with an array of drought-tolerant foliage. Now the yard is filled with succulents that are anything but boring and many that you may have never seen before. The more unusual the better is the way that this gardener looks at his yard. This garden is summer dry, meaning it's drought tolerant, and there's a beautiful Palo Verde in the back anchoring everything together. Again, the homeowner of this garden has layered in all different types of textures and colors, and really makes for a breathtaking front yard. This garden is in the city of Orange, which is inland from the coast and south of Los Angeles, California. I love how the homeowner did these beautiful plantings and a curving, slightly curving, more natural feeling pathway. And there are some beautiful cacti. It looks like they have another Palo Verde showing over the courtyard. And cacti blooms are some of the most gorgeous. These are not open. They probably open. Succulents thrive in Southern California because most of them are not subjected to much frost, if any. And there's also less rain. If you have too much rain, you can actually rot out your succulents. So this is one of the easier plants to propagate in your yard. You just pull off a leaf and it'll become a new plant fairly quickly. Did you have a favorite plant on this tour? We walked by hundreds of them by now. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and I do read every comment. One of the best ways to find an entrance is to not only have a gate, but have an archway over that gate if you can. There are some new rules being proposed in California that would prohibit vegetation within 5 feet of a dwelling. Stick around. We'll find out more about this law as if it's enacted. We're not sure yet what's going to happen yet. If the 0 to 5 feet vegetation rule is enacted, it's supposed to be for fire regulations. They don't want your house to catch fire due to the vegetation. However, there are many things that are wrong with this theory. For one, if you keep your vegetation well watered near your home and it's low growing, it poses much less of a threat than something that's directly attached to your house and that is tall. So if you live in a more fire-prone zone, which Orange is not in a fire-prone zone, most of it, then you don't have to worry about it if you're not in a fire-prone zone as much, but it's something to consider. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with this law. Like I said, subscribe if you want to know more. We will keep you updated. I want to thank the hosts of this garden tour. I believe this is the 3rd time that we've shown you these garden tours from the Mary Lou Hurd Garden Foundation. If you're interested in donating to the Sheepfold and helping out women and children in crisis, I'll include a link to that in my description. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you would like to see some of the homes that we visited in past years, I'll include links to those videos below. And I'll also include some links to recent videos, such as the beautiful Pasadena gardens that we visited and gorgeous gardens in Riverside, California. Thank you, and catch you in the next one. Bye.